Frank kicked a small stone as he walked home from school, his stomach growling louder than the passing cars. His shoes had holes so big that his toes waved at the wind. His shirt was torn at the shoulder, and his school bag was held together by hope and 2 safety pins. He sighed. Maybe Mom will have some bread today, he whispered to himself. Just then, something shiny caught his eye near the gutter. Frank bent down and picked it up. It was a car key. But not just any key. It was heavy, silver, and had the logo of a car brand he had only seen on TV. His heart jumped. Wow, he breathed. This must belong to a rich man. Frank looked around. No one was nearby. The sun burned hot on his head, and for a moment, a wild thought came to him. What if I sell it? Maybe I can buy food for me and Mom. But another voice in his heart whispered, It's not yours, Frank. He looked again at the key, unsure what to do. He imagined his mother's tired face that morning when she couldn't find enough money for breakfast. His stomach twisted again. Just as he was thinking, a black car zoomed past, the kind of car that sparkled like glass. Frank's eyes followed it until it disappeared behind a tall gate down the road. Maybe the owner lives there, he said softly. He stood there for a moment, sweating, holding the key like it was gold. His heart beat fast. He didn't know what to do, return it or walk away. Hey everyone watching, before I continue this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what happens next will shock you. Frank took a deep breath and started walking toward the mansion gate. His legs trembled. The road was long, and every step made him wonder, what if they think I stole it? What if they shout at me? He finally stopped in front of the biggest gate he had ever seen. Tall, gold and guarded. His heart pounded. Frank held the key tight in his palm and whispered, Okay, here goes nothing. Then he knocked. Frank's small fist trembled as he knocked again on the tall golden gate. The metal was cold and the sound echoed like thunder. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then a loud voice barked from inside. Who's there? Frank stepped back, clutching the car key tightly. Sir, I found something. I think it belongs to someone who lives here. The gate opened halfway, and 2 big guards in black uniforms stepped out. One was tall and bald. The other had a mustache that looked like a broom. The tall one frowned. What do you want, boy? Frank showed the key with shaky hands. I found this near the road. I think it's from one of the cars that live here. The guards looked at each other and then burst out laughing. Look at this barefoot boy. You think a billionaire's car key would be lying around for you to pick up? Frank's face turned red. I didn't steal it, sir. I just found it. The mustache guard smirked. Oh, really? Maybe you want a reward, eh? Hungry little actor. Frank's heart sank. He wanted to run, but something in him said stay. Just then, a deep voice came from behind the guards. What's going on here? Everyone turned. A tall man in a neat gray suit stepped out of a black car that had just driven in. The guards straightened immediately. Good afternoon, sir, they said in unison. Frank froze. He had seen that face before, on TV, in newspapers, and even on a billboard near the market. It was Mr. Richard, the billionaire himself. Mr. Richard looked at Frank and asked calmly, You said you found something? Frank nodded quickly. Yes, sir. I found this key by the roadside. I thought maybe it belongs to you. The man reached for the key and his eyes widened slightly. This is my car key. The guards' mouths dropped open. Mr. Richard looked down at Frank, a boy with dusty feet, torn clothes, and honest eyes. You walked all the way here just to return this? Frank nodded shyly. Yes, sir. My mom says taking what isn't yours brings bad luck. For a moment, Mr. Richard said nothing. Then a small smile grew on his face. Come inside, son. The guards looked confused. Sir? I said bring him in, Mr. Richard repeated. This boy just did something many adults wouldn't do. As Frank followed him through the shiny gate, his heart beat like a drum. He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. Frank's eyes widened as he stepped into the mansion. The floors shone like glass. The chandeliers sparkled like stars, and the air smelled of roses and clean soap. He had never seen anything so beautiful in his life. Mr. Richard smiled and said, Come, Frank, sit down. Frank hesitated. The chair looked too soft, too expensive, like something that could swallow him whole if he sat wrongly. He sat carefully on the edge. Mr. Richard looked at the key in his hand, then at the little boy in front of him. You could have sold this key or even thrown it away, he said softly. Why didn't you? Frank looked down at his dusty feet. Because my mom says doing the right thing may not fill your stomach, but it fills your heart. For a moment, Mr. Richard didn't speak. He just stared at Frank with eyes that had seen everything money could buy, except honesty like this. Then he stood up. Where's your mother? At home, sir, Frank said quietly. She's not feeling too well. Let's go see her, Mr. Richard said. When they reached Frank's small home, the tiny wooden house at the edge of the street, his mother was shocked to see a billionaire standing at her door. She tried to kneel, but Mr. Richard quickly stopped her. Please, ma'am, he said kindly. You raised a good boy. You should be proud. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you, sir. He just tries his best. Mr. Richard smiled and turned to Frank. From today, I'll make sure you go to the best school in this city. You'll never walk barefoot again, Frank gasped. Sir, really? Yes, Mr. Richard said, handing him a small wrapped box. And this is for you. Frank opened it. Inside was a brand new pair of shoes and a small note that read, Honesty is worth more than gold. Years later, Frank stood tall in front of a school he built for poor children. He was no longer the barefoot boy who found a key. He was Mr. Frank Williams, one of the kindest men in the city. He smiled, holding that same silver key in his hand. Sometimes, he said softly, the smallest key can open the biggest door. Then he slipped the key into his pocket and walked away, smiling, at the future he once only dreamed of.